Clara Bow's story begins with the kind of dazzling rise that Hollywood loves to celebrate. She became the original "it girl," a star whose raw energy defined an entire decade. But behind the bright lights and roaring applause, a darker truth followed her. Hollywood built her into a phenomenon, only to push her toward a breaking point she could never escape. Clara Bow was more than a star. She was the face of the Roaring Twenties, a symbol of freedom, rebellion, and pure cinematic electricity. Audiences adored her because she felt real in a time when Hollywood preferred polished perfection. Yet the very authenticity that made her irresistible also made her vulnerable. As her fame exploded, she became trapped in a system that demanded her spark, but cared nothing for her well-being. Clara's childhood was marked by poverty, violence, and emotional abandonment. Growing up in Brooklyn, she lived with a mentally unstable mother and a father who offered little protection. Acting was never her dream. Survival was. When a talent contest brought her to Hollywood, she arrived carrying invisible scars that shaped everything she would become. Her pain made her performances fierce and alive, but it also made her easy for studios to control and manipulate behind the scenes. Hollywood had never seen anyone like her. Clara moved with an electricity that couldn't be taught, a mix of vulnerability and wild confidence that made directors instantly obsessed. Her breakout roles turned her into the decade's biggest sensation, and the public embraced her as the ultimate flapper. She wasn't acting. She was living. But with each new success, the pressure tightened. Her spontaneity clashed with Hollywood's rigid expectations, turning her into a commodity rather than a human being. As her fame grew, Hollywood's darker side closed in. Studios controlled her schedule, her image, and even her relationships. Gossip magazines invented scandals to sell copies, attacking her accent, her clothes, and her private life. Jealous actresses spread rumors, while powerful men tried to shape her into their idea of a perfect star. The stress pushed her into emotional exhaustion, and every misstep became national news. Clara's vibrant spirit was turning fragile, and the world watched without offering her the gentleness she desperately needed. Behind closed doors, Clara was fighting battles few ever saw. Her traumatic past resurfaced through anxiety, overwhelming fear, and moments of emotional collapse. Her mother's unstable behavior haunted her, and the studio system gave her no room to breathe or heal. Every headline that mocked her pain pushed her deeper into isolation. Hollywood adored Clara on camera, but off camera, it fed on her vulnerability. The harder she tried to keep smiling, the more her private world began to fracture. The peak of her suffering came when Hollywood turned on her entirely fabricated scandals, leaked letters, and vicious tabloid attacks destroyed her public image. Former friends betrayed her, studios refused to defend her, and every rumor grew into a national spectacle. Clara was overwhelmed by fear and humiliation, forced to face a crowd that once worshipped her, but now played a role in tearing her apart. Everything she had built was collapsing, and the industry that created her was the same one that broke her. As sound films transformed Hollywood, Clara Bow struggled to adjust, but her emotional exhaustion mattered far more than technology years of scrutiny had drained her, and she quietly stepped away from the industry she once ruled. Seeking peace, she spent her later years in isolation, far from the spotlight that had defined her youth. Though the world gradually forgot her, she carried herself with quiet dignity, holding on to whatever calm she could find. Yet Clara Bow's legacy never faded. She reshaped Hollywood, inspired generations of actresses, and remains a haunting symbol of how fame can lift and destroy.